Welcome everybody to Panfish Nation along with Mark. I'm Lyle. Mark, we got a great guest with us tonight. Jake Byerline's going to be with us, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. But it's storming in southwest Missouri. So, if for some reason I would happen to get knocked out, you guys just continue on, keep the troops in chain entertained, and I'll jump on the phone if I have to. But normally we get along pretty good, so I'm not really too worried about it. But the way the wind was blowing, it's like I'll knock a tree over or something in my yard. It's really going to town outside. So straight out of the north too.
Well, I hope you stay safe over there, and I hope we don't lose you.
Oh, we'll be fine. What do you outside? So what do you say we announce some of the people in chat tonight, Mark?
I'd be happy to, Lyle. I see my sister Betty Jean, a couple crosses fishing in there. What's going on, Betty? Avid fisherman. How you doing, Avid? Avid just informed me that he's going to be able to get out and do a little more fishing since his work schedule is going to allow it through October. So that's a good thing. Look forward to seeing Avid fishing live online. I see Dan Thompson. What's going on, Dan? Dan's been coming around more and more. Thank you for that, Dan. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Freddy's Outdoor Adventures. Freddy's Outdoor Adventures sent us both a really nice gift. I want to thank him.
Yes, he did. I can't thank him enough for that.
I'm going to thank him on Monday, most definitely, for that during my show, which is 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, like a true YouTuber on Monday nights after Catfish Weekly. But I do appreciate it. Freddie and Chad, enter in with those. Am I wrong in thinking that little coffee cup's actually a shot glass? Is that a Scottish thing, since I see you're in pictures in a kilt, by the way? Those kilts are badass, I have to say. Let us know in chat. I'd appreciate it. I see Jeremy Calvin's Fishing. Jeremy informed me this week that he has changed his name from Hooked Up because it was really hard to find him on YouTube when you do a search for Hooked Up. So he just went ahead. He changed the name. I believe all the subscriptions stay when he changes his name. Hopefully that is the fact, but take note of that, people. Jeremy Calvin Fishing is what Hooked Up used to be. All right, Jeremy, how you doing? I see Joe Buck 66 in the house. Joe Buck's always in the shows. Thanks for coming by again. John Patrick Jr., what's going on? John Patrick, how you doing? Be nice to Lyle. I see the great Kim Burnett is in the house. What's going on, Kim? I just placed an order. Well, I think I placed an order with them for about 24 jigs, Lyle.
Okay, good. So you'll like them, I'm quite sure.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm really excited about that. I told him 12 that I wanted. I told him to pick the other 12, but I told him in a post reply. So maybe I'll have to private message him, but I want to remind him that he has more work to do after he was complaining on SK's show that he's been overwhelmed. Well, not complaining. He was stating, and I can see why he's overwhelmed. Let's see. We got LG Bass. What's going on, LG Bass? LG Bass is going to be my pick in the 7-to-7 challenge over on Catfish Regulators channel. I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually donating 2 hats to that tournament, so there'll be a hat to give away for each day. That's if my supplier can get them to me. Maurice Kaysen. Maurice is the greatest supporter, or one of the 2 greatest supporters. Tim Molina is another one. He's in all the shows. Tim, if you're listening, hopefully Chad isn't talking your ear off backstage. Hopefully you're out there in the background. I want to make sure I say hello. Papa Ed, what's up, sir? Philip Williams, what's going on, Philip Williams? There's setting hooks and crossing eyes. What's going on, Ryan? SOGO, that stands for Suns Out, Guns Out. Did you know that, Lyle?
I did not.
You do now.
Yeah.
Tristan Dennis, is that a name familiar to you? I think it's a new one, isn't it?
Yep.
It is, Tristan. We'd appreciate a subscription or a sub if you'd like. If you enjoy the show tonight, subbing to it would be a good way of guaranteeing that you'll see future episodes. And we got our buddy Frank over at Twisted Fishing TV. Let's see if I missed anybody. I see Brush Pile Jigs is in the house. You know, Lyle, I use those Brush Pile Jigs.
Yeah. Cool.
I do. I ordered some. I had a couple that were sent to me by my buddy Jake. Yep. And I'll tell you one thing: the first crappie I caught of 2021 was on a brush pile jig. It was that disco gold with the pink tail or the chartreuse tail. I got to look. I think I might have either one of those. Do you know what I'm talking about, Jake?
Yep, disco gold. That'd be a chartreuse tail.
Chartreuse, disco gold. Good stuff. Check them out, man. I'm sure they'll appreciate it if you do. Carolina Catfish, Charles Williams. I said hello to Freddie. We got a bunch of people. If we notice anybody come in during the show, I'm sure Lyle will shout them out because he's good at that, Lyle.
Absolutely. Just to let everybody know what Freddie sent us. Oh, you can't see that. It's green screen. I got one of these, which is awesome. I got one of these, which is also awesome. We got us a little shot glass. Pretty cool. That's a big glass. I could get into that.
That's
I really
my
could.
size.
That looks like a double shot right there.
That's what I'm talking about. And this is acrylic. Way cool. Way cool. Freddie, we can't thank you enough for this stuff. Appreciate it so much.
He confirmed that it is a shot glass for the Jets.
Yes, he did. So it'll go. I have a shelf over here with all kinds of stuff that people send me, and that's where it'll go. Actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelves. It'll go on there with some of that stuff. Means the world to Mark and I when people send us stuff. So we appreciate it very much. Thank you again. All right, Jake.
Yeah.
How's it going, buddy?
Good. How you fellas been?
Not too bad. I ain't been camping though.
Yeah, I tried it. I rained out.
Have you been catching any fish?
Oh, I've been giving it my best.
I seen some videos where you was catching crappie here a while back, and I thought, man, that'd be great. Get Jake on here, talk about catching crappie and bluegill and whatever else under the sun that he's been into. And why don't you tell us about some of your adventures where you've been catching some of the smaller species instead of the big catfish?
You know it. Recently got out to local public pond. Some people frown about fishing ponds. I don't.
Not me.
Either.
Public and it's got fish in it. I'm gonna fish it.
Yep.
I'll fish a private one too. I
will too.
Yeah. But got over there and tested out a new demo rod from ACC. Really sharp little rod that's got a Tennessee grip on it. Never have seen one or used one, so I actually had to do a little bit of research on that myself to get a little knowledge on it before I went out and used it. But had a good trip, caught some good bluegill, came home, cleaned them like my grandma did, and fried them up whole. So turned out to be a good little trip, good little video, and I got a belly full at the end of it. So you can't beat that.
You can't ask for more than that. Without giving away any industry secrets, what's the difference in the rod that you're talking about and a normal fishing rod?
Well, that Tennessee grip allows you to really kind of balance the reel that you use to the rod, which I think gives you a little bit more control, a little bit more sensitivity, as opposed to just a regular reel seat. The other thing with those Tennessee grips is it takes a little weight off the rod too, so it's a little bit lighter.
Is that the one that has the reel seat in the back?
No, it's actually got 2 adjustable reel seats that slide up and down the whole reel handle. So you can place your reel anywhere you want on the handle.
So vertical jigging, you're able to hold that pole out there all day. Is basically
you can back it all the way to the back if you wanted to. Yep.
So I know you do vertical jigging, but it's mostly off of docks, correct?
As of right now, fellas, I've got a kayak and I need to probably put it in use a little bit more. But you guys know as well as I do, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
You think we can borrow that kayak and get Lyle in it?
No.
He says no way. I tell you what, that thing's stable as could be. And just actually got into probably about a 20, maybe 22, 25-pound blue cat off of it. Man, that was a lot of fun. But you would not believe how stable that thing is. A lot of guys think you get tipped over or drug around the lake, and nah. The one that I've got's a really stable kayak. Would definitely be a great rig to get out and vertical jig on some deeper brush piles, which is something I've got planned. I just haven't got around to it yet.
And what kind is it, Jake?
It's a Wilderness System Radar 115. So it's about a 12-foot kayak, about 34 inches wide. Has the ability to add a pedal drive or a motor drive, so you can have either of those upgrades if you like.
That's what I'm talking about, a motor drive.
I'm beginning to think more and more on that myself. I'm out there paddling on it, I'll tell you that.
That's why I got rid of my kayak. I got tired of paddling both upstream and upwind.
There's SK.
That last trip I took was a 25-minute paddle back to the launch, and I was paddling into the wind the whole way.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. My shoulders would never tolerate that. You said it was 12 foot. Now, here's my question. what is the average size on a kayak? What is considered a big one, and what's considered a small one?
I mean, I think your 10 foot and under would be considered your small ones. Your 12 foot or larger would probably be considered your larger ones.
Okay, and how big do they get?
Biggest thing, honestly, I'm not 100% sure.
Mine was, I think, one of the biggest ones at the time. I'm not sure what the Hobies come in at, but my big rig was right at 13 foot.
I was going to say
13 foot, 2 inches.
Come in at 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the biggest thing with those fishing kayaks is you want to make sure it's wide. It's not so much the length as it is the width, because that width is what's going to give you that stability.
Yeah, I just think I'll have to pass.
I don't blame you. And to be entirely honest with you, as much money as I've got into my kayak, I may have been better off just buying a boat.
You're not the first person that said that.
I believe it.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's a different experience. It puts you, I think, in my opinion, a little bit more in tune with the actual water.
I'm pretty sure that in my younger days I might have given it a try. I come more near doing that than I would getting on the ice to fish. But with the shoulder surgeries and stuff, there's no way. Not only would the paddling be hard on me, my knees and stuff won't take the pedaling. So therefore, I would have to have one with motor on it. But if for some reason I get tipped over, I'd never be able to swim to get myself to wherever you need to go. Right. So it is not in the cards for me, and that's okay. I'll let you younger guys do it.
I've got one subscriber out of Ohio, and he's I try not to use the word older gentleman because don't want to offend anybody, but he's an older gentleman. He gets out on. I don't know why it would bother you and don't bother anybody else. I feel you. He gets out there and he gets on them crappie. He chats with me quite a bit on email and stuff like that. So it's not for just the young folks. If you're able to and want to get out and do it, it's definitely a great way to get out and reach some fish, and in some ways a little bit less expensive than getting into a boat.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm pretty sure there's places you could go in them that you can't get in a boat.
And that's the other big thing. Yeah,
you can't drop your boat in a local pond. They won't let you do that. Right. And if you got the right conditions, I mean, weather-wise, and if you're on a lake rather than in current, or if you're dropping in, they're nice. You can really sneak up on some fish in a kayak.
Definitely.
Oh, probably so.
But no, beyond that, I mean, fellas, spring had a pretty reasonable spring. A couple of the regular lakes that I fished were just a little bit more difficult than they have been in years past in regards to producing some quality numbers. So struggled a little bit in that realm, but it's called fishing, not catching. So you can apply all the knowledge you got. And it's up to the fish to cooperate. So, springtime was good, but springtime's always good. Got into some ice fishing this past year, though. That's something that I had never tried, and fell in love with that. I am thoroughly looking forward to ice season this coming up year, getting out. And I went in head first. I got a pop-up shack and a heater and a flasher and the whole 9 yards. I didn't go into it halfway. So
so that probably what you talking $1.98 for all that stuff?
Well, I had some friends,
His wife might be watching, Lyle.
Yeah.
Ask questions like that.
I actually did pretty good. I traded a 12-foot ACC rod that, being primarily a bank fisherman, I'm not going to use a 12-foot rod that often. So I traded that for the shack that I got. It's an older shack. It's just an old Freybill. But got the flasher basically donated to me by another subscriber and local company, Custom Angler Products. Zach from his company donated that to the cause, and it's just a Garmin Striker 4 that you can use from the.
That's all you need.
Or it's got a flasher mode on it. Built a little battery box to take out there on the ice. Got a couple USB chargers on it for the camera gear and stuff like that. And Actually had 2 augers donated to me from subscribers as
Oh,
well.
wow.
To be entirely honest, a lot of it was donated into me to try to help me in the cause, and subscribers like that I always greatly appreciate. They
Even friends like that, I've given countless old sleds away and my old auger away, and the ice fishing community is pretty tight, I have to say. They take care of the more people that get into it, the happy they are. It's where a bank fisherman gets to be a boat fisherman for 4 months out of the year. Is
Yep.
basically why they get so excited, Lyle.
Here's a pretty nice offer in chat. Richard Grimes says, the invite is here, Jake. I will take you anytime.
I was just about ready to comment on that. Richard and the fellows over from Angling with Arlie actually had something lined up to go over and meet with them this past winter. Unfortunately, again, Mother Nature didn't have it in the cards. They're over in the Des Moines, Iowa area.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been about a 4.5, 5-hour drive for me. And unfortunately, weather conditions prevented me from going over and joining up with them on a veterans outing. So
Is that the one that Kith was at?
Yeah, Kit went and
That was a good.
Yep, Kit went and filmed that. I was supposed to get over there and do some filming and be a part of that as well, but wasn't able to. So this winter, I do plan on getting over there and getting together with all those fellows. Probably trying to meet up with Kit and those guys as well. So
We got
I'm sure you'll have a good time. I like them fellas.
We have a couple more things in chat here. Tristan Dennis says, unsure if he said this, but do you have a fish finder on your kayak? And SK says, what state is Jake in? That would be Illinois, SK.
Yep. And yeah, fish finder on the kayak is the Garmin Striker 4.
So you use it both on the kayak and on the ice?
Yep.
It's the way to do it.
I actually bought an additional mount. That way I'm able to have that mounted on the kayak and the battery box and just transfer the unit back and forth. Bought extra power cables and everything as well. So real simple swap from the kayak to the flasher.
Very nice.
So let's get back to summer fishing since we still got a month left before the really good fishing starts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What are you looking for when you're out, let's say, off the bank for crappies?
Well, I've got a video coming out this Sunday that covers all that information. Had a lot of subscribers asking me to put together a summer crappie video, and I think everybody knows crappie fishing in the summertime from the bank can be just a little complicated, a little bit difficult. But what I'm out there looking for is deep drop-offs, something that goes basically bank down to 20, 25 feet of water, structure, stuff like that I'm able to cast to and really kind of target what area in the water column those fish are set up in. And usually with the use of some apps, the Navionics app, the Navionics boating app is a great resource that bank fishermen can use to get a little better idea of what depths they're working with, where those drop-offs are at. So using some of those tools, I'm able to stay fairly successful out there and catch some crappie in the summertime. From a kayak, just recently logged all of the man-made fish structures that they've dropped in the local lake that I fish regularly, all the waypoints, lat and longitude lines. So plan on getting out on the kayak and trying to anchor up, station up over those, maybe cast some slip bobbers with some minnows or vertical jig over the top of those too.
That slip bobber fishing's tough. I'm not a fan.
I'm not a real big fan of slip bobbers either. You won't see me use them very often.
I'd rather use a spring bobber or none at all, to be honest with you. So
I tend to agree.
But I tried it. I tried it this year. Ended up getting a 6-pound, 4-ounce freaking bass, but that's about it. Nothing of any size other than that. But it's still good to try.
I have another question in chat. Brushpile Jig says, "What's Jake's opinion on live scope and the hot topic?"
Live scope, the hot topic of live scope. I've been on one boat with live scope. I'm thinking maybe 2. No, 1. I don't know. I'm an old bank fisherman, so electronics are something that I'm not necessarily accustomed to. I hate to say it's cheating, but when you can pick out the biggest fish of the school and pull them up top every time, guys kind of got to wonder,
You know, I would think the same thing, but spider rigging came before it, and it wasn't that big of an issue.
Yeah.
And when you have, you know, when you're looking at two baits on a pole, and you got 8 poles out in front of it, you know, you're looking at 16 baits presented to a fish, which is pretty close to trout lines, right, Lyle?
That's pretty much, yeah.
Half a trout line. I think live scope's probably a little better match to my kind of fishing than anything. So I'm okay with live scope, just like I'm okay with fishing private farm ponds.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not opposed to live scope. I think for personal use and stuff like that, tournaments and stuff. Now, I think it gives an angler just a little bit of an edge over a guy that doesn't have live scope.
It lets you buy your way into the winner's circle.
Exactly.
That's the problem. That's what I have a problem. They should have 2 divisions. They should have a live scope and a non-live scope, and go from there at each tournament. I think that would be one way of making it fair, don't you think, Lyle? You're in a tournament scene.
I completely disagree. I think that they should not allow live scope in any tournament.
And see,
really?
that's where I'm
Because
at.
everybody can't afford it.
Yeah.
Everybody just can't afford it.
That's
And of course, here I am saying that, and I'm waiting for Humminbird to come out their stuff, because I won't switch from Bird to any brand, because they are the best in my opinion, by not just this much, by this much, you know, because I've had the others. But yeah, live scope, I feel like that you get a guy that can't afford a $30,000 boat and a $20,000 live scope unit. He can't compete with the guys that can't afford that stuff or is sponsored by them companies. And I think that's an unfair advantage to people. My opinion, you don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it, but that's just kind of where I'm at.
See, and Brush Pile Jigs mentions that a lot of tourneys are going to 2 divisions, which was my initial thought. So
that'd be a great way to do it for sure.
Here's another question in chat. Hey, Lyle, Mark, and Jake, what is a good tactic for bluegill and shell crackers?
Who's jumping on that one?
You're the guest. I think you should go first.
Yeah, you go first.
I mean, bluegill shell crackers, red ears, your hybrid bluegills. I mean, anything and everything like that. There's really nothing that beats, in my opinion, a tungsten ice jig tipped with a wax worm under a bobber year round. You'll, in my opinion, catch solid fish like that. And you can use other things. You know, I've in the video I did recently, I was using some 80th ounce hand-tied jigs from Rocky Mountain Custom Jigs. Brush Pile Jigs has a great product, the Brush Babies, that I've used before for bluegill. It's just a matter of trying to determine where they're located, where they're schooled up, and putting the right bait in front of their face.
Getting to the bite's the hard part. What I like to do is I like using me a Berkeley 1-inch minnow. I can't go wrong with that. Either in the what is it, the black, the 2 colors, the gray, and then I use the chartreuse. They seem to work pretty good on like a number, I would say a number 4, not a jig head or anything, but like on a number 4 Pro V Aberdeen hook. They got a little longer shaft and they got kind of a sickle hook look to them.
Yeah.
That underneath the spring bobber, and if it's too deep, I'll switch it up and go to a drop shot.
Okay.
That works for me. And if the plastic isn't working, you can't beat a red worm or a waxy.
Yep, I agree with that. Live bait, I use red worms, night crawlers, wax worms for bluegills, red ears.
If I'm putting numbers in the boat or on the bank, whichever the case may be, it's a drop shot rig and bobbers, and let the lid off the bottom, never touch the bottom of wherever you're fishing. If you do, move your cork down a little bit. Find a spot where there's some brush or trees,
Weed lines.
any kind of structure.
Yep.
If you find them in the structure when that's where they're going to be, you can wear them out. And there's nothing more fun than throwing out and having to reel it right back in because you already got a fish on. That's my favorite way to catch bluegill.
And that's bluegill fishing, man. And I tell
That's
you
right.
what, pound for pound, a bluegill fights almost harder than any fish in the water, pound for pound.
They definitely I'll be fishing for bluegill for bait or just for fun, and there'll be a bass guy on the bank next to me, and I'll say, "See, look how hard this fights."
Yeah,
As they're dragging that wet sock of a bass up to the shore.
Right.
SK says that Humminbird's already released the Mega Live. I have not seen it and not know anybody that's got it. I'll make my decision once I do. Tristan Dennis, what are Jake's thoughts on crappie bites and no Mark and Lyle like and use them? I just got some, so I haven't got the chance to use them.
I use them.
But I watch SK use them all the time. And if he uses them, there's a reason why he uses them. So that's why I bought some. But Jake, what's your opinion on crappie bites?
Now, he's talking crappie nibbles, right?
Yeah, crappie nibbles. Mm-hmm.
You got to tip it with a little nibble, guys.
I was going to say, if anybody's watched one of Jake's videos, you know the answer to that question.
That's an easy question. Go back and watch some of my old videos. That used to be an old saying of mine when I'd break those things out. There they are, the old power bait.
There you go.
I use the glow chartreuse on a regular basis.
Yep. And then Betty Cross introduced me to the red ones with glitter on them. Those work pretty well, too. I was surprised.
Gotcha. It's an added layer of scent, and I think that's just another thing in your tool belt. And it doesn't necessarily have to be crappie nibbles.
Try some of these
products out there.
Hey, he's got some.
They're Smelly Smacks from Flea Fly.
I got some of these too.
You'd be surprised. Look at this. We got stuff all over our desk. Can you tell we have a problem?
You have no idea what's on mine, but oh man.
Ryan says that he likes to use. I think he means that drain pipes are great for getting onto on the fish too.
Yeah, I agree. Any kind of structure, and like Jake said, weed lines. For bluegill. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, I agree.
It really is.
Somebody in chat that asked if I'd go deeper in the summertime for bluegill. I think that just depends. The last time I was out fishing for bluegill, I was catching them right up against the bank. Now, the time after that, I couldn't catch them up against the bank and had to go about 3 foot under a cork to find them.
Yeah.
The previous time, I was about 12 inches under a cork. So it's just a matter of figuring out where the fish are moving, where they're set up feeding.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have
Comfortable Life is a new to our chick group.
Welcome, Comfortable Life. I also see Sunfish Assassin showed up. Papa Ed is here. Tim Molina showed up. Great show, Tim. Want to make sure we say hello to him. And Straight to the Point Outdoors. Hello. Arlie's here. What's going on, Arlie? How you doing? Arlie Miller, right?
Kit just joined us too. I see him in there.
There he is, Fishing Kit. What's going on, Kit? How you doing, bud?
That's somebody new to us too. Thank you for joining us, you guys. We appreciate it so much.
And Crappie Day Fish on. Abbott is asking Jake, crappie nibbles versus waxworms. What do you think's better?
I'll be honest. I can't necessarily vouch for that because I don't believe I've ever really tipped many of my plastics or hair jigs with waxworms. So I've got more experience with products like the crappie nibbles, things like jig juice from brush pile jigs or jig butters and stuff like that. So I can't really answer that one.
Cool.
Maybe it's something I'll try. Do a little.
I've seen guys who back in the day when they're spider rigging. Actually, I saw this on 3-pound crappies. A couple of his videos. They were fishing in Grenada in Mississippi. How do you say that lake name, Lyle? Do you know? Grenada, and they were having a hard time getting on fish spider rigging. They switched up to waxies, and boom, they got on it, and I think they won that tournament too. So I think it all depends on the fish and what they're looking for that time.
That day. Yeah. Brush Pile Jig says, what was that it?
I know
somebody was asking about the hooks.
Yeah, live minnow, what color hook?
Right, yeah.
No gold red. I don't fish a lot of minnows, so it's whatever's in my tackle box. I've got gold and red. It's whatever I grab that day.
I haven't really noticed a difference in hooks like that. I've got them all, and I've never noticed a difference. A lot of times, of course, I'm a believer in long shank hooks to keep them from swallowing and getting them unhooked because we release so many of them. But I've not, other than that, I don't think it makes a difference on the color of them.
I think some guys like to use red just because it's.
Yeah, they've been told that it's attractive to them, but once you get out so far, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Below 5 feet of water, it looks gray.
Yeah.
At least that's what the science tells us. looking for some questions here. So let me ask you this: let's say you're in a new location, or you're out scouting for crappie. How do you go about that?
Well, I lived in the same area my entire life, so I don't go out scouting too terribly often. I'm pretty familiar with the lakes that I fish. But Navionics app is a great way, again, for a bank fisherman to get to know areas. Now, the one thing about Navionics is it's not going to give you information on smaller bodies of water. So it's your larger lakes and rivers and things of that nature. But that alone is going to give you a real good idea of the contour lines, the depths, and the areas that you're able to get access to. And then it's just a matter of getting down there and looking for structure. You know, you could see one stick sticking out of the water, and there might be an entire brush pile underneath that one stick sticking out of the water. Or laydowns, riprap, you know, bridges, stuff like that are always a great place to start, try to locate fish. Fishing a new area too, it just is a matter of picking apart the water. You know, you start maybe 2 foot under a cork, and if you're not catching anything, you go down to 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, and keep going until you get an active feeding fish. If you're casting at them, same thing. Just, you know, vary your countdown to target the water column that you think the fish may be in, and once you start catching fish, target and stay on that type of countdown.
How long do you spend in a location before you move?
That depends on what time of year I'm in. You know, if it's spring and I'm not catching anything, I'll move pretty quick. If it's summertime, I may stay a little longer just because I know that fish are a little bit more difficult to catch. But spring and fall, if I'm not catching fish within the first hour, I'm probably moving on to a new location.
Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. Betty says, have you ever tipped your jigs with those tiny shad? She's had killer days doing that.
Yeah. If you maybe snag one of those reeling in or something, but if I'm throwing the cast net, I'm throwing the cast net for big shad to go out catfishing.
Yeah, mine's got such big holes in them, the little ones go right on through.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. My Walmart net, which I use, so I save my expensive net, it's got little holes. I catch them little thumbnail-sized shad quite often. But you know what? I go back in the fall, and where those thumbnail shad are, they turns into pretty good walleye spots.
Yeah, they did 4 or 5 inches by fall.
Not just bigger, but for some reason, a walleye like to be where they're at during the summer. They'll come back in the fall looking for them.
That's probably true too. Yeah.
Oh, Kit says, is it true flathead fishermen are also good at catching panfish? Well, you know that because we got to have bait.
That's right.
I got a bait tank with like 20 bullheads and like 22 bluegills like 20 feet away from me.
You better keep them bullheads fed, or them bluegills start having chunks.
Yeah, you got. Well, hopefully I can use them up this weekend. Plan to put them bad boys to work. Betty says she has a net with tiny holes just for crappie bait.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense, especially if you're using that trick, which actually I'd never heard of it.
You know, earlier in the show you were talking about, Mark, you had placed an order with Kim from Crappie Stoppers. I'm waiting on a shipment. He tied me up some foam flies. Game plans to tie them on the end of my cane poles and go out and target some bluegill and red ear and stuff like that
now,
with the cane.
That sounds like fun.
Now, Wait a minute. Kim uses those on a fly rod.
I know, but you can use them on a cane pole now. It ain't no different.
Oh, well, that might be true too.
Kim's got me talked into ordering a Cast King combo, so we're going to order that. I think it's coming up here pretty soon, and I'm going to give it a shot. So I'm looking forward to that. But that cane pole, it's been a while since I've been cane pole fishing. That's always fun. You got a couple of cane pole videos, don't you?
Yeah,
Jake.
Yeah, I do. I've got actually several cane pole videos. I've targeted anything from crappie and bluegill to doing some spillway fishing and catching things like catfish and carp and stuff like that on them. And cane poling is something that I think is underrated and a lot of folks don't know anything about, so they don't go out and try it. But it's a way that I was taught by my grandma when I was just a little kid, and it's a ton of fun. I mean, it's you with a stick in your hand and a length of fishing line and a fish on the other end.
That's right.
And And
it's hand-to-hand combat with a fish.
Exactly. And if you want to talk about fun, I honestly don't know that there's too much out there that would be more fun than going out and doing some cane poling for bluegill or crappie or something like that.
That's right. That's right.
That's time with it. You'll hear me giggle a lot in my. I got this.
I'm smiling here just listening to you talk about it. I know how good of a time it is. It's a blast.
Man. It is. I think in my cane pole videos, I've got that little giggle laugh, and I look back and edit those and think, man, I sound like a goofball. But it's just so much fun. You can't help it.
That's right.
You just can't help it. It's a great time.
It is, and I don't think the kids these days has ever started out has ever probably used a cane pole. People just go buy them a little mini set up at Walmart for $6 or $10, how much ever they are. I ain't bought one. But when I was a kid, you learned how to fish with a cane pole before you graduated up to rods and reels.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was fun. It really was.
Papa, I think, says a 20-foot cane pole, no funner way to catch gills. I've never seen them 20 feet long, but I try it. I've seen a couple of videos where they got fancy carbon fiber cane poles. Well, they reach out like 25, 30 feet, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Seen stuff like that craziness.
I've got a 3-piece 16-footer out in the garage.
Oh, really?
That a buddy of mine gave to me. It belonged to his father-in-law, and he gave me a 10-foot and that 16-footer, and they're both. You can tell they're old. They're from back in the day. You know,
probably, are they still bamboo or?
Yeah, they're bamboo rods with brass fittings and everything. So I mean, you're
looking bamboos. If you find one of them, they're hard to deal with. I quit repairing them some time back because they're such a pain in the butt to do. But they are a person that builds those. They have to cut them like on a table saw and then glue them all back together. They cut them completely apart and then glue them together and then shape them and sand them and do all the stuff. It's art to do them.
Now I got a question for you then, Lyle. You say you do repairs on cane poles. One of the
no.
You don't replace the seats?
I'd have to look at it. I might be able to do that, but the problem with repairing cane stuff is you can't never make it look the same.
Yeah.
I mean, one place will be look. You can tell where it's been done. You can't put the old finish back on once you remove it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The 10-footer that I've got, both the male and female ends are pretty well rusted out, and female end is to the point where it's corroded enough that if you try to put it together, it just starts breaking apart. So I can't even use it. But I think if I clean up the 16-footer, I could probably get it out there. It's in a little bit better condition.
Yeah. I have, I think, 1 or 2 of the brass reel seats left. As far as I know, nobody makes them anymore.
Gotcha.
And they're chrome-plated brass reel seats. They're heavy, but yeah, I haven't seen any of those for years and years and years. So I'd be surprised if anybody's manufacturing them. Nobody uses them. Everybody's all about a 6 or an 8, 10 ounce rod now, versus that reel seat weighs a pound nearly. So yeah, it's those things are just outdated. I mean, that's just all it is.
Fun stuff. Have you seen those fly rods, guys, that they make out of bamboo?
Have some in my garage.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. And if I get a chance to buy another one, I might do that.
We'll talk later. I just saw a big documentary on that. We're going off topic here.
We are.
We do this a lot, Jake. Forgive us.
We're kind of still on topic. We went from flies that Kim was making to fly fishing to cane poling, and it all connects at the end of the show.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So tell us, Jake Byerliner, what is your favorite way to catch crappie, jigs, float, minnows? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
That's from Arlie.
Yeah, I would definitely say probably the double jig rig under a float. Popping that float along and waiting for it to tip over, or get buried. But I also enjoy casting for them too.
Man, you use those. I see you use those little tiny floats as well, right? Those little
1 inch pair float. That's all I use.
I can't see them. You get them 10 feet away from me and they're gone. I can't see them. It's my only problem. How deep of water before you? Well, how shallow of a water do you stop using double jigs?
I'll cast a double jig out to them in deep water, but generally I don't. It just depends on if, sometimes they'll want a 16th ounce, sometimes they'll want a 32nd ounce. They'll want to hit bigger baits, smaller baits. So I think that it's just adjust from there. But I'll work a float until I've got to have it at 3 foot, 4 foot deep. Once I get there, if I've got to go that deep, then I'm just going to cast for them. And a lot of times when I'm casting, I'll just cast single jig setups as opposed to the double jig. The double jig is, I think, in my opinion, a little more effective under a float or when you're vertical jigging. When you're casting it, they can get tangled up real bad. Still gives you 2 baits in the water, so if you can keep them untangled, you're increasing your chances. You may get a double here or there, but my headache is when you're out there in the cold of the fall or the winter and your fingers are about numb. Last thing you want to do is try to untangle some 6-pound mono.
So 6 pound is your 6-pound mono is your line of choice?
Yep, 6-pound high vis. Had used Vicious for a long time, but just transitioned over to Reaction Tackle and had it out a couple weeks ago chasing some summertime crappie and was really impressed. Very little memory. So, line twist is an issue sometimes and didn't have any issue with that. So I was really kind of impressed with that Reaction Tackle 6-pound high vis as well.
Betty wants to know, have you ever or do you ever long line troll for crappie?
Being primarily a bank fisherman, I do not.
Do you have any plans to do that in your kayak?
Might be, yeah. I'd have to probably get a pedal drive or a motor drive. I think it'd be a little difficult to do that with the paddle in hand.
Absolutely not. Put them on a float just a little deeper. You'll learn. Just paddle along. That's how I used to find them on my kayak. I'd put them under a weighted cigar float. Cast. Okay. Let's say I would paddle, set the depth, let it go next to me, and you get an idea of what angle it'll be at. You can figure out what depth you want. So let's say you set it to 7 feet deep, right? You drop it. When you're moving, it'll come back up to like 3 feet over or 4 feet over. Works really well. It's almost like a planer board for crappie right behind you. Try it out. You'll thank me. You'll have a good time doing that.
That'd be actually kind of fun over some of these deeper brush piles right now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I see your brother has made it in our chat.
Oh, my brother made it?
No, Mark's brother, Chad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the redheaded stepchild. He's not really. He's just by marriage. Frank asked if a crappie size umbrella rig is on the market yet. I don't think so. We can't use them here at Illinois unless you got, just 2 hooks on them. Correct, Jake?
Yeah. 2 hooks per line in Illinois.
Unless 3 in Missouri.
River. If you're fishing a river, you can have up to 50 hooks in the line without a commercial fishing license. But if you're fishing in a lake or pond or something like that that's public, 2 rods, 2 hooks per line.
Fishing Kit says I can cast double jig rig 90% of the time, but that means double the jigs I'm losing. You're not kidding, Kit. I'm the same way.
Yeah, that's true. But your success rate goes way up a lot.
Jake must have a lot more finesse than I do because I can't do it.
I can cast them and keep them untangled most of the time, but Kit's exactly right. I mean, you do lose more gear when you're doing that, and that's just part of crappie fishing. I mean, if you're not losing gear sometimes, then you're not in the areas that those fish are going to be in.
I agree with that 100%.
That's just part of it.
You ever use those really light wire hooks that you can get back? I know a lot of guys in Southern Illinois use those.
Yeah. Those light wire hooks, brush pile jigs actually make a corkscrew jig head with a light wire hook that works really good. Use those a lot of the time. and had good success with them. If you're fishing some lakes that have some bigger fish on there, though, that light wire hook can sometimes be a concern. You get into a 14, 15-inch fish, and they may bend the hook out before you get them up to the bank or the boat, whatever.
Here's a question for you. Sickle hooks or standard hooks?
I'm a huge fan of sickle hooks all the way. And I know the people that use the standard hooks and are diehard standard hook guys will argue with you till their last breath. But I think you either love one or the other, or you're just kind of, I don't care. Use whatever's handy in the tackle box. But if it were me, I prefer a wire keeper as opposed to a lead keeper, and I prefer a number 2 sickle hook.
Do you ever get into tying any of your own stuff, Jake?
I've not. No. I rely on people like Kim and Raymond from Rocky Mountain Custom Jigs and Crappie Stoppers there to take care of me on that type of stuff. Those guys do great work.
There's so many good people out there that do it, and they all do it at a very reasonable price, and it's really artwork. And Lyle does them now too.
Speaking of jigs, of course you can't see these because I have a green screen, but there's either 9 or 10 pink and black and chartreuse hand ties right here, and we're going to give them away in a little bit. And we're going to try out the giveaway tool that's on it was StreamYard.
Excellent. I'm sure somebody would make good use of those. You guys might want to give up though, because Betty's in the house and she wins everything. Or D, if D's here, she wins everything too. We got a couple ringers that for some reason they're great at winning. I think Betty was just telling me, Lyle, that she just won something from Tackle Bandit today.
Who did?
Betty.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Them two or something else.
We're talking about giveaways. Jake, didn't you mention you were going to do a giveaway on your channel?
Yeah, I've been working up to that.
Hey, Joe Buck and Old Boy Outdoors, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Old Boy Outdoors asked to see a sickle hook. He'd never heard of it. I don't know, you guys probably, Lyle, you got any handy?
I do.
I don't. And Arlie,
pull one up. I'll try to get one big enough that we can. I got one right here. If I can get
I do have those Pro V Aberdeens that kind of look like a sickle hook. I don't know if we'll be able to see them.
This one right here should be big enough that you can see it on a jig, of course.
put your hand
See
behind
that?
Put your hand behind it, Lyle. You could see
your palm.
Put your palm in front of it, bud. There we go. Perfect.
That's what that sickle hook looks like.
That's a sickle hook. And if I'm correct, that's a little nasty eagle claw hook, if I'm correct.
It looks like an eagle claw.
Yeah.
I used to use those a lot.
I really like those. For those of you that's interested in the giveaway, we'll give you a few minutes to put that in. And if you'll just type #hand ties, and it only does it doesn't do any good to put in more than once because it eliminates all of them except one. Just go ahead and do that, and Mark will knock that off here in just a few minutes and let them put that in.
How do you want them to spell
hand ties?
Hey, one word, all lowercase?
Yep.
Okay, you guys heard it. While they're entering that, Jake, you want to tell us about the giveaway that you're going to have pretty soon on your channel?
Yeah, definitely. I will tell you what, it's sizing up to be a pretty big giveaway. Last time I did a giveaway was at the 1,000 subscriber mark, so had a really, really great growth session over the last 8 months. We're closely approaching 5,000 subscribers, so I wanted to make sure that I had a good giveaway to put together. What I'm going to do on this one, I'm about 90% sure I'm going to have one winner for the entire package.
Ooh.
It's essentially going to be putting anything and everything almost that I use personally in somebody's hands to get out and use. So The lineup includes things like 11-foot ACC crappie sticks rod. I've got a loose speed cast that was donated by Shields Outdoors, which is a local sporting goods store here. I've got 3 spools of line from Reaction Tackle, brush pile jigs lined up, every single color that they offer in the brush hammers, which the brush hammers are my favorite body style that they offer. So there's 38 bags of plastics just from brush pile jigs, which is insane. Places like Rocky Mountain Custom Jigs are throwing in some hand ties. Kyle from Ketchum Jig Heads is throwing in a bunch of jig heads. Going to have a catfish rod included. Going to have a crappie reel included. Got a bunch of hooks from Nocturnal Nation. Essentially, guys, it's like over $750 worth of product.
Wow.
By the time it's all said and done, it may even end up reaching almost $1,000. I don't know. But I think I'm going to do one lucky winner. I thought about breaking it up and doing a catfish winner and a crappie winner, just because I know some people like fishing for just crappie. Some people like fishing for just catfish. But I don't know, the appeal of it. You know what I mean? Having one winner take away all that product, that's pretty awesome. And
That'd be quite a surprise.
To give back to the people that watch my videos and support me and like, comments, and stay active and a part of my channel. So, really, that's why I wanted to do something big. And I got to thank all the people that get behind me, the companies that take care of me on product and stuff like that have helped donate to this. Couldn't be done without them too. So it's coming up, and that's going to be hitting at 5,000 subscribers. Once I hit that 5,000 subscriber mark, you guys will see all the details. I'll maybe do a live stream on YouTube, share it over to the other social media sites to get all the details on how everybody needs to enter. But I've been trickling down the little teasers as prizes come in to keep everybody excited. And
That's right.
I've been excited as I've been getting these too, because it feels good to have places like, Brush Pile Jigs and Mad Cat's rods and all the other smaller companies too. The one guy sitting in his garage tying hand ties and trying to make a little side business out of it. Those are the guys that I support.
Absolutely. That's cool though.
That stuff's important. And so to have those guys take the time and support me and send me a little product to give away to a subscriber is a pretty cool situation. I like it.
Hey, I'd like to offer you something to be part of that.
Okay.
You've been on our shows a few times, my shows a few times, Catfish Weekly,
Yeah.
and now Panfish Nation, which we're glad to have you on here. But I have a couple of these. There's 20 jigs in these boxes.
Okay.
I donate a box of 20 to your giveaway.
Hey, that'll work. I'll get it announced. For the folks.
If you need me to send them to you, we can talk about that. Just send me your address and let me know however you want to do it, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we can chat after the show about
Yeah.
that. Sounds
Now,
great. Appreciate
In the
that.
meantime,
I want to ask the people in chat real quick to go out and share this link, because I did notice a couple other things in chat, and I saw you answered one of them, Lyle. You want to tell the people what else is going to be given away tonight?
yeah, we're going to give away 5 of Kim Burnett's hand ties that he's going to choose which ones. And we're going to do that after we give away these. I didn't see another one. Is there another one?
I did, yeah. Brush Pile Jig says that Jake can give away 5 bags of hammers if it is allowed. Also, we will ship from here. So Brush Pile Jig will ship them out. So
that'll be fine. It's going to take us a second to do all this because I have to load these up. Now, this is the first time that I've done this. So
I can help you, Lyle.
Bear with me here. We're going to try that. We're going to share.
And the people only need to enter in that hashtag once, Lyle. We can do the drawing 3 times with the same one.
Right. And that should be what we're going to do. And we're going to start.
Hold on. Don't hit it yet. Let's give the people some time to enter. So if you have not entered hand ties, just like it is on the screen, make sure you enter it in now. If you're not sure if you did or not, go ahead and enter it again. It'll only count you once, but it will verify that you're in there. Right now it says there's 17 people that are valid entries into this giveaway. So please put in # hand ties, all lowercase, just like it says on the screen.
Just like that. Yep. And I believe there's 9 in here. And these are crappie jigs. They're 1/32 ounce. There might be 10. I didn't count them real good. We got 19. We'll give it just a minute more. And I didn't see the other one, but thank you guys so much for doing this. It's really a cool gesture to people to give away stuff like that. And I'm assuming that those are your sponsors, Jake.
Yeah, Brush Pile Jigs, Lee and Jennifer Sharp.
Great people.
Great folks. They
Always heard good stuff about them.
Yep, they were the #1 supporter from the word go.
Excellent.
I think last time I was on Catfish Weekly, I told that story of sitting down with Lee and Jennifer at a business meeting and asking.
I think so.
Yep, just exactly what I wanted out of the outdoor industry, and well, I'm living it right now.
Well, there you go. That's awesome, though.
Yeah,
it really is.
I'm not going to lie. I'm just kind of upset that I can't enter.
Oh, come on. You can make your own.
And not very good. I did get some tips from Mr. Kim Burnett last Saturday night.
Man. Wasn't it fun having Kim on the show when we done them ties?
Definitely was. He makes it look easy, and he also gave me some tips. Some stuff I didn't even realize I was doing wrong.
Great guy. Great guy.
Cool. So we're up to how many? 24 entries
24.
now. So we got a few more in there.
Yep, we did. Are we ready to go?
I am. How about you, Jake? You ready to go? Can we get this party
this
started?
is the first time we've ever done this, so we're going to try it. Can you see that all right, Mark?
Yep. Go ahead. And
here we go.
There we go. Pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
And this is for which one? This is for your jigs,
yeah,
Lyle?
These are the ones I have on my desk here. I believe there's 9 in there.
Richard Grimes. Congratulations.
He's a lucky
Congratulations. And you can send us a message, Catfish Week or Panfish Nation on YouTube or not YouTube. Facebook is the easiest way. Just send us a message on Messenger, and let me have your shipping address, and I'll get these babies right out to you. And I will go ahead and see if I can get this other taken care of. Mark, if you want to.
All you got to do, I think, is just hit. You could have just up in the upper right-hand corner. I think you can click draw again, Lyle.
I was going to change the.
If you want, you can do that. You don't necessarily have to. So everybody who's entered would get entered automatically into the second time.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, this is new. Like I said, we'll figure it out.
We will.
And in the meantime, we will get guys time to do this.
Brush Pile Jig says that Richard Grimes won a T-shirt earlier from them. Congrats, Richard.
That's why I said the lucky duck. I saw he won a long sleeve tee from Brush Pile Jigs here earlier today. Richard, get out there and buy a lotto ticket tonight, man.
That's right. Here we're going to have a new one for the 5 hand ties of Kim Burnett's.
Okay.
And we'll give people. We'll go ahead and visit with Jake while everybody's signing up for this. But here is your new. Whoops, that's not it. New word. Can you see it?
Kim Burnett.
Hashtag Kim Burnett.
Spelled properly, just like it says. And Kim actually put his email out there, so we'll have it.
So just there's your hashtag name, and we'll draw this here in a little bit. We'll give as many people as much time to get in as they can, and then you can just contact Kim, and he'll ship them from his location. And
I believe,
Kim,
they are case sensitive, so I see that Arlie entered in Kim Burnett with all lowercase.
Yeah, it'll need to be just like it's on the board, capital K and B. I know that's confusing, but if it was easy, everybody could do it.
It's about like fishing.
That's right. That's right, buddy. And no spaces in between Kim and Burnett. Crappie day fish on. So, Jake, what do you got new in the plans for the rest of the summer?
Oh, new in the plans and the rest of the summer. Well, I tell you what, I'm in the job search. So that would depend upon what kind of career path my future leads me into, and what kind of free time I have. But it's just going to be primarily, my typical routine. Get out, start chasing crappie about the beginning of October. Do want to try to focus a little bit more on some blue cat fishing this fall.
That's one of the better times for catching blue cats of the whole year. Is the fall bite is one of the best of all.
Yeah, I think October, November really is an ideal time for me in my area. The problem with that is October, November is also the ideal time to really put a hammer down on some crappie. And so I'm one of those guys that try to balance my time in between and not just focus on one. But once I get going on one, it's hard for me to pull my attention away and go target the other.
I 100% understand that. Do you have any new videos coming up that you feel like is really killer that you can tell us about?
You know what, fellas? I'm just going to be entirely honest. This year's been a tough one for me. I had a tough spring. About the only fish that really treated me right this past spring was the blue cats. The crappie were tough. The flatheads have definitely not cooperated this past, 2 months. So I need to shake the little gremlin off my shoulder, man. I've had this thing following me around for quite a while. So I'm a little bit behind on footage. I would have loved to have had a bunch of banked up videos right now, but I'll be entirely honest, I don't. I've got one scheduled for this weekend. Other than that, I got to get out and do some fishing, guys. I got to put some stuff together. And
Harley Miller says Jake is coming to fish on the ice with us.
Yep, he's up there in that Des Moines area with Richard.
That would be fun, I guess. I got to tell you, Jake, I only seen that I can remember only one video that you was on the ice.
I think I had.
You might have had more than that, but I only remember seeing one.
A few.
I think I've got 5 or 6 out.
Yeah.
I can think of.
I
know I've got 5. I've got 2 where I went with a buddy of mine, and then the other 3 went kind of locally right around the area I live. So.
If I could set the first time on the bank and watch somebody do it, I might actually have to try that sometime. But you guys are going to be too far out on the water for me to sit on the bank, so I'm probably not going to get to do that.
Well, let me ask you this. What's your apprehensions about getting out on the ice?
If it cracks, I'm heading out. Period. I'm not going to. Yeah. My deal, Docket Lang and I always had an agreement that if we could set in a boat and you could shove that out on the ice, we'd be good to go. You could drill a hole right beside it. That way, if the ice cracks and the boat falls through, we still are okay.
That is, I will tell you, the first time I went out on the ice, we had a big group of shacks all around us and had one very eerie pop. It's actually featured in the video that I put together. And it didn't really bother me. The ice was thick enough. I felt confident and safe. But the next time I went out, I actually went out with a different friend of mine on one of the local ponds I fish here just close to my house. And we got out there and got set up, and we were maybe pushing it. We had maybe about 3.5 inches of ice. And we had a pop that split the whole pond in half, and you could see the water coming up through the crack.
Oh, wow.
That one made me a little bit nervous.
Yeah. I've seen them guys walking across there. Wisconsin fishermen had one. They was walking across or doing around this time. I could hear the ice popping. I said, nope, that ain't for me. Yeah, that ain't for me. Are we ready to give away them jigs?
Aaron Tucker had a quick question. Said, Jake, what's your go-to brush pile jig colors?
Oh, check out the brush pile jigs, jigging with Jake kits. I got them all in there.
Cool.
To throw out a few, they've got a Deadly Force, which is a black and red fleck in the body and a kind of green with a silver glitter tail. Snowflake is one that I actually helped those guys put together. That's one of my favorites. Disco Gold, as you know, Mark, is one of my all-time favorite dirty watercolors. And things like Ghost Hunter, which is a white and chartreuse. I think right now Brush Pile offers 38 different colors.
That's cool. Way cool.
I want to say they've got like 7 or 8 different body styles. Lee's in here. He can actually correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they've got 7 or 8 different body styles right now. So,
all right, well, let's give away Kim Burnett's jigs, and then we can talk about the Brush Pile since they are giving 5 bags away.
Absolutely. Twisted Fishing TV says if you're ice fishing, you're going to hit the water. It is what it is. At some point, you're getting wet. And that right there is why I ain't getting on the ice.
He just undid a whole year's worth of work. Thanks.
Are we ready?
Hit
We got
that button.
26 entries. Here we go. Aaron Tucker.
Congratulations, Aaron.
Absolutely. If you'll contact Kim on his Facebook page, I am assuming that is the best way to get a hold of him.
I just put his email address in the chat. So Aaron, contact him at the email address. I just posted it 3 times. kburnett1967 at yahoo.com. You can get him there.
congratulations, Aaron.
Congratulations.
All right.
Also, for those of you who want to use Jake's discount code at Brush Pile Jigs for 10% off, it's JWJ, 10% off. Is that the whole code or is it just JWJ?
That's a heck of a deal.
JWJ10, if I'm not mistaken.
JWJ 10% is what Brush Pile Jigs entered in there.
That's way cool that they would allow him to do that 10% off. That's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, it's just JWJ. Nothing else, just JWJ.
JWJ for 10% off at Brush Pile Jigs.
Yep, you got it.
Way cool.
There's Super Dave 336.
Hey, we're always glad to have Super Dave in here. He's a great friend. Watches Kim and SK and Steve and Bluegill all on Wednesday nights. We're so super happy to have him in on Panfish Nation. While we're getting ready for this, so we'll give people plenty of time to get up here and get in on this next giveaway also. Here is your hashtag Brush Pile Jigs. And there's a space between the hashtag and the brush pile.
No, you got to change that. It won't work without.
Oh, it won't work that way. Let me put this in here and go right. It won't let me do that. It won't let me do that.
Go hit the back button underneath done. There you go.
Oh, yeah, that took it completely out. So we'll just bring it up again.
This is actually a really nice feature as opposed to having to use
absolutely
a generator. I like this a lot.
I like this a lot better too. And I ain't got to mess with all that other stuff.
Take the space out, bud, and we'll be good. Perfect.
All right. Right there is what you have to put in to be in the drawing.
David Martin says that's where most of my jigs go, in the brush pile.
Welcome to chat, David Martin. Hi, Mike Irwin, Aaron Tucker. Dave, we're always glad to have David Martin in on our chats. Robert Andrews, Guy 23 HD. We got a bunch of people come in.
There we go. Brush Pile Jigs said, what's your favorite Kim Burnett color, guys? All 3 of us. Mine is definitely orange. I'm looking forward to getting some of his orange ones with his special order Chanel that he has.
Now, is that because Kim says that's what he catches a lot of his fish on?
No, that's because Betty says that's what she catches fish on is orange. I'm not even going to lie. Betty Jean, the crappie queen.
Donna Morgan, welcome. Ed Martin, welcome. We're up to 46 in chat, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And one thing about this, Jake, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the StreamYard and this program, but it doesn't matter who you are or how many times you have different giveaways. It'll separate everybody out to where you only get one draw, which is a cool feature on the program. But if you have 3 or 4 giveaways in one show, the same guy can win them all. It does not discriminate. It pulls them completely by random.
Gotcha.
And if that was something that people, when you done like random.org, people would get aggravated if somebody won more than once in a night. Well, you have no control over it if you're doing it fairly anyhow.
Yeah.
And this just eliminates us from being any part of the equation.
I want to ask Richard Grimes to enter in his entry again. He has 2 pound signs in front of brush pile jigs.
Yep, that won't work.
So what's your favorite hand tie, Lyle? I know you tie a bunch of your own. I know you're a fan of Kim's. What colors do you like to use?
I'm a big fan of chartreuse and black. I think that's one of the old standbys, but I have to tell you, I have been working since last night or the night before on a new design one that we was talking about in one of our chats, and I've probably built enough of them that I run out of orange jig heads, but I finally got it perfected down to where I want it, and I got really big hopes for this one. But we'll see.
How about you, Jake? What's your favorite hand tie color?
I would say from Kim, probably some of the baby blue stuff that he does.
Isn't that cool? That's beautiful stuff.
I'm a big natural color guy, so I don't get into a lot of the flashy colors unless I'm working with maybe some dirty water. But the pink, the silver, and the light blues are some of the ones that I've used most regularly from Kim.
Very cool. We're up to 25 entries, which is, I think, one more than we had before. Let's remind everybody that.
Well, here's a great question. What's your favorite breading for fried crappie?
Oh, there's a bunch of those.
Man, that's a great question.
I will say this. I had a subscriber send me a bag of the Mr. Crappie breading. Have either of you two guys tried that?
No, I have not.
No. I was pleasantly surprised. It was extremely good. I'm usually an Andes guy.
Me too.
I don't know if Andes is nationwide or whatever, if it's just regional. But Andes is one of my favorites. We've got a local company called Carter's that has a fish market in Springfield just down the road from me, and they've got their stuff in just some of the local smaller stores. And that's actually better than Andes in my opinion. But that Mr.
Better than Andes.
Sacrilege, right? You have to try it. Maybe I'll pick up a bag and ship it out to you, Lyle.
Oh, dude, I love Andy's red, man. That's the greatest stuff ever.
And that's what they've got. They've got almost the same type of scenario where they've got like a yellow mix and a red mix. They don't call it yellow and red. I think they just call it mild and spicy or something like that. But Carter's is a good local place that puts together a good breading. But
hey, you got to support the local people.
That Mr. Crappie stuff, I fried those whole bluegill in that, and I was really pleasantly surprised with the flavor. That was good stuff.
I'll have to try it. I'll try anything.
Yeah.
Our good friend D Fishing says, favorite breading, Betty's secret recipe.
If you read up a few messages, Betty already proclaimed that. She said, my breading, and she's got a little person with her hand up. I love her breading. I would never say anything against it because she'll stop cooking it for me. So I'm going to leave it at Betty's breading.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, so we're ready to go the giveaway tool again. We have 26 entries. Is everybody in that's going to get in?
I think so. I got to answer Brush Pal's question. I like Valentino Black, the habanero stuff, for my favorite hot sauce for fish.
Oh, we're talking hot sauce?
I also like a Momofuku crunchy pepper oil on my fish, too. That's pretty good, too.
Cajun Chef, hands down. Cajun Chef.
That's pretty good too.
Yep.
I'm not even kidding. I got everything on my desk right here. Look at this. My hot sauce for lunch.
Holy crap, man!
Asking all the right questions today.
I guess so. What do you say we give away these jigs?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
These are courtesy of Jigging with Jake and Brush Pile Jigs. Super Dave 365. What's
Awesome.
up, bud?
Very nice.
Super Dave.
Now, how does he go about collecting on those? I forgot.
I would say go ahead and shoot Brush Pile Jigs, either a message on Facebook or an email. Lee may hop on here and give some details on how he wants to get in touch.
Let me see if there's an email on their website.
Thank you so much for doing that. We appreciate it so much, and I know these guys are really going to love those jigs.
Yeah, definitely. They're good quality product too. They hold up great.
Oh, I'm like sure.
I just put the Brush Pile Jig website on there, and email. You can go to their website, and there's an email us link. You can email them through there. I imagine that would work, right? Yep.
Definitely.
Brushpilejigs@gmail.com.
See there, Dave, it pays to watch Panfish Nation. And we appreciate it.
No, definitely. I'm glad that those folks jumped on here. Lee,
I am too. We're thrilled that they done that, and the same with our buddy Kim Burnett. Thank you so much, Kim. We was lucky enough that Kim done some tying last Saturday night with us. A bunch of us that was on here.
I watched.
He actually wants to do it again.
Yeah,
That's hard to believe that he would get on here with Chad and Mark and I and do it once and want to do it a second time.
I'm surprised after he's met Chad, he wants to come back on.
We're not sure how it'll be when Dockery comes back.
Well,
We'll have to see how that works out.
Doc will behave himself.
He probably will.
Oh, now the ladies are getting upset because they said I jinxed them by telling them that they win everything.
Well, they do, but not today.
Mm.
Jake, what else you got you need to tell us about tonight?
I can't think of much else, guys. If anybody that's in chat hasn't taken a look at my channel, I'd encourage you and ask you to go over and take a look. If you like what you see and you enjoy my videos, well, I'd love to earn your subscription. Appreciate
Tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, no, I'm on pretty much all your social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and of course here on Facebook, YouTube. Try to kind of funnel everything from the other social media outlets to the YouTube channel. Jigging with Jake on Facebook, Jigging with Jake, I believe 5 or 19. I believe it's Jigging with Jake 19 on Instagram, Jigging with Jake on TikTok, and like I said, Jigging with Jake on YouTube. I tell you what, one thing else I want to point out. I just want to get on this topic. We were talking about Jeremy changing the name of his channel. I've been getting a lot of flack lately about some guys that have been telling me that I've been trying to ride the shirt tail of Jigging with Jordan. And I don't know if you fellows or anybody in chat has heard of Jigging with Jordan. I personally never did.
We have.
No, I never have.
I've watched a lot of YouTube, but definitely never knew his channel. The name of my channel was given to me by a close friend of mine because he knew how much I love the crappie fish. And that's how that got started. And I don't intend on changing the name of my channel. If you folks don't like it, I apologize. But it was a
I was going to say,
my friend.
keep doing what you're doing.
That's
doing
right.
fine.
Yeah.
That's right.
Be
true to yourself, buddy.
I'm a firm believer of working hard for what you got and what you get, what you put into it.
That's
and
right.
I feel like I put a lot into my channel, and I'm definitely not riding anybody's shirt tail by any means. So
I agree.
Jake works
100%.
hard. Jake works hard for the money. No, I'm not going to start singing.
That's good. We appreciate that. Well, Jake, thank you so much for joining us on
Thanks,
Thursday
buddy.
evening. It was late for you to be late notice, and you jumped in here. We had a great time with you on here, as we always do. And goddamn, dog. Excuse
What'd
me.
you call me?
No, dog. The dog. I would like to thank Brushpile Jigs for donating their jigs and stuff to us tonight. That was a great honor that you done that. And of course, it is always an honor when Kim Burnett donates his products to any giveaway, especially to ours. And want to thank everybody for watching the show tonight. We had a great time with Jake, and Jake, we've got to get you back on here one of these days. If at any time,
Well, would you let me get him on my show first?
okay.
All right, thanks, Dad.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. And Lyle, thank you for that jig kit that you're going to donate to the 5,000 subscribers.
Absolutely, buddy.
We appreciate that.
You know what? We gotta stick together. These of us that work together have to continue to work together from now on, and that's just the way it is. We got to, and that goes hand in hand with Kim and Brushpile Jigs and those guys. We all got to get along together and work together for the benefit of the sport.
I'd donate some jigs, but I suck, so we'll work on that.
And like I said, I appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate the group that follows Panfish Nation and Catfish Weekly. You guys have definitely a lot of good folks. I know I used to stop in chat and hang out quite a bit. I'll be honest, I've been busy trying to keep up with things around the house and family. We've got a grandbaby now and a second one on the way. And then, of course,
that's cool.
My own channel. I'll try and stop in more. I apologize I haven't been in there, but always great to chat with everybody and see your followers in here as well.
We got to fish, Jake.
Yeah, we're not too far down the road from one another, man.
We got to make that happen.
Too long.
One of the gentlemen, I won't name any names in chat, offered me a farm pond, which is pretty much en route to where you're at. So we might have to make a trip out of that.
We might have to make a little halfway, do a little collaboration video.
You're looking at
like a great time.
They look like 1 pound, 2 pound green sunfish. How about that?
Hey, there we go.
That's pretty cool. Fun. Be sure to go out and check out Jake's YouTube channel. You will not be disappointed. I promise. I watch all of his videos personally, and I know that you guys will enjoy them. Don't forget Monday night, Catfish Weekly and Catfish and Crappie podcast. Be sure to check those out. Until next week, thank you guys so much for watching Panfish Nation. We will see you then.
Have a great weekend, everybody.